frustrating is that, you know, my sister started the company and she started selling products out the back of her car. She had wrote a book called Thank God I'm Natural. She was scrappy and she built that thing from the ground up. And so when you build your business from the ground up, these other big conglomerates are watching you. And they're watching you and they're watching you sweat as you know, build your business, get the crowd, get the following, and then they swoop in with a fat check and you've done all the work. And I was like, no, we're gonna be true to this, we're gonna do this. And so we're gonna stay in the neighborhood and we're gonna keep churning our product. I don't need that much money to live and live comfortably. I want to be true to my neighborhood. I want to be true to my people. So you're not going to take, my sister sacrificed her life for business. And my daughter is the CEO, I'm COO, and we also have TGIM Foundation, a breast cancer foundation. So you're not going to swoop in off of our hard work and our blood, sweat, and tears and take our product, water it down, and give it back to the community and be like, see, this is the same thing. You're not going to do that here. So we like to stay true to what we were called to do because you are our consumer and we listen to you and you're always in mind when we create our products. So you're not coming in off of my blood, sweat, and tears. Not here.
All right, we're going to take it down to Mr. Sip and Savor. Tomorrow he will be receiving awards, so make sure that you are at the letter together. As the founder of a successful coffee brand, what lessons have you learned about customer experience and scaling in a competitive industry?
Great question. So, you said it best, and George, about the customer and our community. Our brand is built on community. You know, our tagline is where coffee and community meet. And when I started this brand on 43rd, it was back in 2005, and there was nothing out there but empty lots and vacant buildings. And one of the visions I had was you put a great product out there, you bring quality, and you bring it to our people, they will come. Because people laughed at me, they said, black folks don't like coffee, they ain't gonna go to no coffee shop. I said, well, if you make it classy, if you make it elegant, and you could bring people together, we like to gather. Whether it be at the club, whether it be at church, or whatever it may be. I said, why not gather over a great cup of coffee, do some networking, get some education, get some history, meet some people, and build a community. It has to start with somebody, why not me? So, what I've learned is if you bring good quality product and service, people will come. Now, that don't mean you're gonna take a lot of body blows as a pioneer, and I took it. And you need to understand, when you step out there, you know, all of us up here, and I'm sure you all can attest, you know, we cut from a different cloth. You know, we built different. You know, unless you're ready to, you know, miss out on parties, you know, have your friends look at you like you weird, family talk about you, your credit score take a dive. That's what you do as an entrepreneur. So to wrap a bow on everything, you gotta have vision, you gotta see down the road, and you gotta be able to have a sniper's type of mentality instead of a shotgun approach. That's my military piece kicking in. And when you start to see people enjoy what you're doing, or to come into something like this and people recognize your brand and tell you how much they appreciate you, how they follow you on Instagram, thanks to Millie Frick here, and we put this message out there, you deserve to be treated like kings and queens. You don't need to get sub-level service. You don't need to come into a nasty spot and where people don't treat you like you deserve to be treated. So that's what I found out, and that's why I only wanted one coffee house, to be honest. When I retired as a Fed, I was like, I'm gonna bring this in the community. But my team kept pushing me. You know, my strategy officer out there, Whitney Hampton, Millie, my daughter. And so, like I said, you gotta have a passion for this, you gotta be cut from something different, and you gotta command excellence. And it's not negotiable. It's not negotiable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sean. So we've already we've talked about the president, we've talked about what's going on. Mr. Daniels has brought up the changes in this generation and just in the world. How has the changes in DEI impacted your business?
So, you know, anyone who hears me talk, you know, I keep it very real. So, my father just passed away, and I flew in specifically to be here. I literally flew in yesterday to be here. I'm wearing a piece of him around my neck right now. And the reason why I bring him up is because he was president of minority purchasing here in Chicago, worked for Commonwealth Edison, and he did more for the Black and brown community and contractors than anyone in the city of Chicago. In 1986, he won an award for giving the most contracts to Black and brown businesses. When I say this, nothing was handed to any of those businesses, but they didn't have the opportunity to have a seat at the table. What they knew how to do and were they qualified? 100%. Did they end up doing a better job than anyone else could? Yes. And a lot of these Black and brown subcontractors that you know now, my father is the one who put them on. So I say this to say, and I have to add one more little, I have to give him his flowers. He was pivotal in getting the Chicago Minority Purchasing Council even up and running with May Foster. So the history of DEI is in me. And as his young baby, my mom and dad's only child, I will continue to fight. And I'll tell you something. I'll say to any consumer, it's up to you to spend your money however you want to spend it. I will never tell you how to spend your money. But what I will tell you is that businesses like mine in these retail spaces, this is how you see us. You can't just say, sell it online. If I just sold my product online, I'd have been out of business 12 years ago. I couldn't. I didn't have the financing. You all know we do not get the financing we deserve. You know we don't. So don't tell me just sell online, because I won't be in business. I'm in over 3,000 locations around the country. There's only 60 African-American women, negociants, vineyard owners, or winery owners out of 111,000 in the world. So don't tell me just to sell online, because I wouldn't be here to inspire you all. So I say this to wrap it up, that to be in a retail space, don't look at that as I'm gonna get rich. I wasn't rich when I got into Target. I wasn't rich when I got into Walmart or Whole Foods. I actually got a lot of money from being with a Black-owned business, which is the North American Concession Stands in Midway Airport. But there's the catch, and this is where I'm gonna conclude this, so understand what I'm saying. That if I wasn't in those 3,000 locations, I wouldn't be 100% of the entire wine list at Midway Airport with a Black-owned company, because I wouldn't have been seen. So I just tell you all, while you can, as the consumer, you can do whatever you want. I will never tell you what to do. But just understand, as an entrepreneur, we need those retail spaces. That's how we can survive. So I just want you to respect that. And that's it. So DEI is a big deal to me because I got a seat at the table. Nobody ever gave me a handout. And I do have to say one more piece. Being at the table, understanding the wine space, everything is blind taste test. So because I'm at the table doesn't mean they're gonna take me because I'm Black. Wine doesn't taste Black. So because I'm there, they got to blind taste my wine. And it won 89 points with Best Buy with distinction from wine enthusiasts. It is huge. So just know, nobody handed anything to me because I was a Black wine. I got a seat at the table and I worked hard, and I worked 3 times as hard as anybody else on that other side.
Amazing. That is amazing. That's what we're here for, right? It's singing these gems. All right, Mr. George, back to you. So, as we all know, there's so many artists that come out and they don't last. They don't have a lot of longevity. They give us a good song, and then 10 years later, we're looking trying to find where they are. So my question for you is, what are some key lessons from the music business that all entrepreneurs can apply to their companies?
Don't be a one-hit wonder.
Never. You know that's true.
Hey, that's the artist you're talking about. And boy, I got a list. Damn. And y'all do too. Y'all grew up with some of it. And your mom and daddy played it. And you heard your grandmama shit too, right? See, so these are and will always be the soundtrack of your life. You know? You really want to, look, I'm the way I am because, boy, look, I play the soundtrack of my life every day. Okay? It's so important for you to connect. You know, this is your life. And as young as you, boy, I look at y'all and say, damn, I used to be that age. But I'm having a ball watching y'all get old. Okay, anyway. But it's all about a journey. But you gotta make it fun. I'm telling you. I'm so sick of your journey. They walk around the street, y'all have a job and looking like, who the hell are you? You know? Look, let's teach our children, our friends, so they can teach their kids. You know, when the political establishment gives out, they already announced all the jobs for summer. Now, y'all see them kids working, looking at you like, what you looking at me for? All right? Nobody's taught them the work ethic. We need them little neighborhood jobs, which means we have to have little neighborhood mom and pop stores, the brick and mortars. Look, when I started in Georgia, I told the landlord to give me 90 days credit on rent. All right, this is 1969, opened up in 70, December 12th. 6 hours, 145. I was the only employee for the first 3 years. I learned everything about how to run a damn store, okay? So if I'm gonna hire somebody, then I hire them to fit a position. Now, you done played all positions, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing, and the funny thing that I learned, after, you know, first employee, second employee, third employee, I'm like 1973. I hired the fourth employee, I wasn't shit. I could only manage 3. Yeah, for real. It was funny as shit to me too. But then you gotta look in the mirror and say, well, dude, you gotta know your limitations. You're good at managing 3, but when it comes to 4 and building your business, what you gonna do? Your dog is in the mirror. If that dude lied to you, you got a problem. Know your limitations. And this is the thing that I learned and recognized. I'm so proud of all of the youngsters that I hired as time went on.
Yes.
I mean, they've gone on to do very well for themselves. This is why the biggest problem. Your first job is not around the corner from where you live. Because the businesses are not there.
Come on.
When we build these businesses, we have to become the anchor. If it's going to be a monument or whatever, well, what else can we bring? Because all these people are coming, what else can they buy? When I started George's, it was a laundromat next door. Then next door that was Kirk's Westside Hair Center. They did men's and women's hair. Next to that was John's Restaurant. By the way, John's wife was Quincy Jones' aunt. Next to that was Raymond's Barbershop, Robert's Hardware Store. So, dude, the drugstore wasn't Walgreens, it was Drexler's Drugs, a neighborhood place. All I'm saying is that the thing that makes a community is the businesses. Well, whether it's Inglewood, Hyde Park, Lawndale, you know, hey, Woodlawn, hey. Y'all will pay me for this. Anyway, I'll stop.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That was real great. In other words, generational wealth, build something so that your children can have it to save the community.
Yeah.
So going back into saving the community, Dr. Piper, you have just launched the TGIN Foundation. Very quickly, I just want to find out, many founders struggle with burnout. How did you balance entrepreneurship with your personal well-being? Through grief, just being transparent and building your business and still making sure that your sister's goals are met?
I haven't. So my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015. And at the time, she was launching the business, and she had just gotten into the bullseye. Y'all know what the bullseye is, right? We can't mention that though.
Mm-hmm.
She had just gotten into the bullseye. So she said it was the best year of her life and the worst year of her life. And so my daughter and I were living in another state at the time, and we moved up here to help with the business. And when she transitioned in 2021, we stepped in. I stepped in full time, and my daughter was already there. So I went from working to, I was her full time caregiver while she was sick, and then stepping into the role of COO the day after she passed away. And not only did she leave a legacy of a textured hair care business, she also founded the TGIN Foundation, which is the philanthropic arm that supports breast cancer initiatives for Black women in the city of Chicago. So in Chicago, Black women are 42% more likely to die from breast cancer. Why? Why? We got Northwestern, we got Rush, we got Insight, we got all of these hospitals around. But she found out, my sister was a Harvard-trained lawyer, and so she found out that it was no problem for her to go to Northwestern. But if one of her sisters in the neighborhood was diagnosed with breast cancer, she didn't have access to those things.
That part.
You can go to Northwestern and pay $24 to park. Go and get cancer treatment, 36 radiation treatments, times that times 24, or whatever discount they call themselves giving you for parking. And then when you're done with your treatment, you're tired, you can't cook, you still got a family, you're still a mother, a sister, a daughter, a hustler. You still have all those titles and stuff. So the TGIN Foundation was birthed out of that need for African American women so that we can close the gap and bring education. So every year we have a nonprofit gala called TGIN Foundation Cocktails for the Cure, and it's held in October, Breast Cancer Month. So we've partnered with Lyft. We gave women rides to their breast health appointments when they didn't have transportation. During COVID, we provided trips for women to get vaccinations. We partnered with Northwestern, and we have a breast health symposium every year, and they've also given us a genetic counselor. So we're out here making partnerships and making moves, and by 2031, we want to provide 10,000 well woman exams to women in the city of Chicago. We will do. And so also look for us coming to a neighborhood near you. We have what we call the boob bus. So if education is what keeps Black women from survivorship, why don't we close that gap? So we're in the process of purchasing a bus. It's wrapped with my sister's picture on there, TGIN Foundation, and we pulling up to you. If you can't get to the hospital, we pulling up to you with our genetic counselor, with our pamphlets, with our information. We have a prosthetic so that women can learn what it feels like to find a lump in their breast. So if you don't go to the doctor or you can't make it there, we coming to you. So we're closing the gap, and we're bringing that legacy, and we're bringing just community. Again, the theme I think here is legacy and community. So we're coming to a community near you to serve you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Mr. Travis, what were the key steps? Because you said you just wanted to have one shot. But it's good to have a circle. It's about who you're connected to. If you're in a box with people who cannot get you outside of the box, you're in the wrong box. So the people you were connected to, they encouraged you. So what were the steps, and how was it expanding Sip and Savor to so many other locations?
That's a great question. So one of the things I like to share with you guys, and please pay attention to what I'm about to say, relationships and your network will take you farther than education, your looks, and everything else. I'm gonna say that again. Relationships and your network will take you much farther than I don't care how many initials you got behind your name, how cute you look, how you dress. It's your word, your character, and integrity with the people you meet. Because you never know what they can do for you. I'll give you a quick example. People come in our coffee houses all the time. Every industry you can imagine. Politics, real estate, education, You got other entrepreneurs, you name it. And I always say, if you just ear hustle in there, you're gonna pick up something. Just tilt your head every once in a while. You're gonna find out about something that's going on in that city, in the state, what's going on in the education piece, and people make connections. So I think what helped, I know what helped me to, and my team, to expand to now 5 locations, and people trying to get us in Miami, New York, LA. What makes us unique is we more than just coffee. We're an experience. And that experience is we there to help build other communities. When you there, any alderman that come in our location, we need you in this room. Any developer, can you go to this high rise? I don't never seek out to go anywhere. I really don't. It's like Sean said earlier, you gotta have capital. But when they come to you, how bad do you want us? What are you willing to do to bring this brand to either your city or to your ward? So, for your question for me is the relationships, the way you treat people, your character, your integrity, having empathy, passion. You can't teach that in college or school. You can't buy it off Amazon. You gotta have it. And when people see that, they want a part of that in their community, they want it in the building. It exudes and it's contagious. So people start coming to us, wanting us to go places. I push it off on Whitney. She's in real estate. Hey, go see what they want. See what they offer. And if it makes sense, and if we can come in there and make a difference, create jobs, change the community, bring other things except coffee, that being the mental health piece. We have people coming in and talk to our employees and customers on mental health. We deal with financial literacy. My girl Millie here was climbing around on her knees. She teaches people about social media. Whitney comes in and talks about real estate. I have my attorney come in and talk about trust, wills, and all that. Free 99, don't cost you $8. We have drunken spelling bee, karaoke. I could talk forever, but that's what makes people want us. We more than just coffee. We're an experience.
Y'all catch that $3.99 doesn't cost you a dime, okay? All right, Ms. Krishan, you have built a nationally recognized wine brand, breaking into an industry with high barriers to enter. What tactics did you use to break through this industry, and how did you approach retail distribution?
Well, I look at sales as, I came from a sales and marketing background, so I can sell water to an ocean. But the issue lies, this is what I tell a lot of people that I mentor, the issue lies in building velocity. So when you hit a shelf, you have to stay on that shelf. So when you hit the shelf, you have to stay on that shelf, meaning the buyer can easily kick you off at any time. If you actually read the 200-page contract, they can literally kick you off the shelf at any time. So unless you consistently feed money back into that retailer, you're not seen. Your product collects dust off the shelf, or what they call a planogram, so that's the map, right? Your product could be at the bottom. So when people say, Krishan, why is your wine on this layer? Because I don't have $10 million to give to that company to put it there. So understand that once you get